Praise the Lord, saints. This is Elder Adrian Heyman. And remember, a time ago, I had made the statement, let's be real, let's be transparent. And I'm finding out that it's difficult to be transparent just because you don't want people to think bad of you, or you don't want people to feel sorry for you. You don't want people to feel bad about other people or about what they've done. My only intent is to share, is to strengthen. That's the only reason I share, because I feel if others are in the same position, maybe they can take strength from what I'm going through. And sometimes, to be honest, I feel a bit selfish because, and I understand that I'm a caregiver. I'm a caregiver. And that being a caregiver, and I think that's what I want to talk about, balancing those feelings between selfishness and giving your all to the other person. Because to be honest, all of you that are married and expect 50-50 all the time, that's the one sure way, I believe, that you will run into marital problems. Because there will be times where it's not 50-50. I had to realize that, actually, after a while. It took me some time to learn that. Always was of the idea of perfect marriage, 50-50, 50-50. But that's only if your partner can give 50-50. Sometimes it may be physical. Sometimes it may be mental. Sometimes it may be emotional. But it's not always 50-50. How long is it going to last? I don't know. It may last a day, a month, a year, or the rest of your life. But think about this. Did Christ say 50-50? You love me, I love you. If you do this for me, then I'll do this for you. The scripture, John 3:16, we say it. But do we really understand the meaning of that scripture? Do we understand the meaning of for God so loved the world? Do we understand the meaning of giving all of yourself? And that's something that essentially I think people do forget. But as a caregiver, because of those feelings you have, they fight against each other. I don't want to take all the glory of this. I'm not doing what I'm doing for the glory of others. Elder Heyman is such a great person. Oh, he's so nice. You know, again, I understand the compliments and I appreciate them. I do. I do. I'm not mad at the compliments. In fact, if I was, I wouldn't be having the right spirit. I'm glad that someone sees what I'm doing and understands that sometimes caregivers do hurt. And it's not because of their own hurt. It's because they hurt when they can't do for the one you care for. And I've had several instances of that. From the time, to be honest, my wife has never been well in her life. It was just misdiagnosed earlier until they got medical science was able to understand what's taking place with her. But because she seemed to be so good, so vibrant, so full of life, so I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it, and no one's going to stop me. She was a walking miracle. Actually, she still is. but I understand the toll now that it took. Do I sometimes feel guilty that maybe I could have pulled her back some? Maybe I could have, but then it would have been a mess at this house. She was fully on fire for God. And she always was thinking about the children. She was always thinking about the children. That was her ministry. Her ministry was the children. And when I went to church 2 weeks ago, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before, and I stopped at children's church. I just wanted to see how they were doing. And they were doing well. And they were saying how they're understanding all the things that a wife did for that ministry. And they're incorporating some of those things that she had done earlier. And to me, that's as much of a tribute as anything. So I thought I was going to come here and talk about one thing, but it's branching in so many different directions. But let me go ahead and, I guess, tell the gist of what I'm trying to say today. And I was about to say it, but my mind went another direction. See how my mind goes? When you see your loved one hurt and you can't do anything about it, it weighs on you. It cuts you in a way that you cannot, unless you're in that position, you can't really understand it. All you can do is empathize, which is all that one really asks for. But not to mention, I had no idea that she was having a stroke. That was her second one, actually. She had a mini one. The people could tell at church because her speech was different. She had aphasia, and she was actually going through it, but you could tell it wasn't the way that she wanted. But then the major one, in the middle of what was supposed to be paradise, on a cruise ship, off the coast of Mexico. I still remember. I couldn't even put in my mind that it was, knowing that in the sick bay, they didn't have the medication you could to reverse anything. So I tried to think it was something else. I didn't want to even think it was a stroke. But it was. But not only was it a stroke, it was an infection. And they told me that if they couldn't get her to the mainland, then it would have been much worse for her on the ship, waiting for 2 weeks, because it was a 2-week cruise. Do I beat myself up over that? All the time. When she was in the hospital, she was laying there, and she couldn't really communicate. And I had to kind of figure out what she wanted. That still happens. It still happens. That I don't always know what she wants because she can speak a little better now. But it's not like me and you having a conversation. It's not that way. But I guess it's becomes most on you. Like, for instance, today I usually give her insulin before breakfast. That's just a thing that I do. And essentially I look at her blood count. I take her blood. But I made a mistake today. Instead of giving her just the fast acting. I gave her slow acting too. The ones you're only supposed to give her once a day at night so it can carry her through. And so I'm thinking now, even right now, I'm thinking I have to make sure that she doesn't go below. Although she went a little high. So I have to correct that. But it's because at night, sometimes she's in pain and she can't sleep. And I'm up there and I can try to encourage her to go to sleep. But I know if I don't, then I'm not be any good to her. This was just, but then so I'm trying to fix here to do this, fix here to do that. I'm about to take her to dialysis anyway. Then dialysis, I sit there for 4 hours as they put the needles in her to draw the blood out. Those of you that had dialysis, you know the drill. But that she can take that sitting in the seat for 4 hours or more, because you have to first insert it and then take it out, then make sure that she isn't bleeding all over the place from her fistula. I even know the terms fistula. Wow. Didn't think I was going to have to deal with that. But you're thinking about that. Thinking when she had her seizure. She never had a seizure before last year. It scared me that she started to shake and convulse. And I couldn't do anything about it except just be there. Couldn't help her. Last time she was in the hospital, she got an infection in her lung. Now they call it pneumonia. She did have pneumonia. They didn't want to tell me, but now they're referring to it. She did have pneumonia. So there's another thing you deal with. But sometimes you ask God, you don't say why, because you know that everything happens for a reason, for a purpose. But you have to understand that it's not always that clear. It's not always that black and white. And you have to be content with that. But it's not black and white. It's shades of gray, and even blue and purple and red and everything else. And you have to be able to deal with it. So you ask God, just take me through it. Give me the strength to do what I need to do to help the one I love. So yes, Brother Rogers, you understand. And I remember your daughter. She's so sweet. So sweet. So sweet. So you understand. For those who maybe you can definitely tell others, other feeling that you as someone that wants to help, but you can only do so much. You can't. You can pray that the Lord heals, but it's not necessarily always what happens. We have to realize that we don't get everything we prayed for, and that does not mean that God doesn't exist. I think people feel that way, that if he doesn't get what I do, if he doesn't help me heal with this, then God's not real. Yeah, he is real. But we also in bodies that are very frail at best. At best. And then the only thing you can do is deal with whatever is here. Because we have to finally realize this, saints of God, is not the body That is the most important thing. It's not the body. It's the soul. It's the soul what's important. It's the soul that God is most concerned about, because the soul is what remains after the body is gone. So are we ready? That's the key. And for caregivers, I understand the hurt, the pain that you feel. I understand because I feel that myself. Can't always explain it, but it's there. When the moans come in and you can't do anything to stop it, it hurts. Well, here, take a medicine. But if I take this medicine, it has a reaction that's not good. So can't take that medicine. Take this medicine, it really doesn't really work in the situation. So you go back and forth, then you figure, Lord, just help your daughter. Help her. Let her know that you're with her. And then help me. Not because I'm selfish, because I want to be able to help. But if you're tired, if you're too tired, if you're too morose, if you're too discouraged, if you're too weak because of physical ailments you put on yourself, then you can't help your loved one. That's what people have been trying to tell me all this time. And it's only now that I'm really beginning to realize it. You have to be careful, saints of God. And as a caregiver, you have to take care of yourself. Not at the price of taking care of your loved one, but as you're taking care of your loved one, make sure you're taken care of as well. Not just physically, but spiritually and emotionally and everything that deals with being a person. That's it. Just wanted not to vent, but just to speak on. And Brother Rogers, more and more I understand. More and more I feel you. More and more. And I'll talk to you later about your daughter. I remember her very well. So sweet. Smile was, she could light up an entire room, even the Sunday school room. But we'll talk. In the meantime, saints of God, you take care of yourselves and take care of your loved ones. Just remember, it's not always 50-50. It may be 100-0, and that may last for quite some time. So be prepared. God will give you the strength to love. God bless you. Take care, everyone. In Jesus' name.